As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be
Oh
a
man,
home
it's
run.
8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a...
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
BravBros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the BravBros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Schluter McGluter. What's up, dude?
Feeling all right tonight. Schluter Magooter checking in. Yeah, no, really nothing to complain about, honestly.
Are you comfortable?
Always.
You don't look comfortable.
No?
No.
What
It
would
makes
make me look
uncomfortable.
more
I
comfortable?
don't know. You look like you're hunched.
I'm just feeling it.
Okay,
you know?
as long as you're comfy.
Yeah.
Just
Fine,
checking
me.
in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Checking in, making sure I'm comfy. No, I'm just, I think this is my ready stance.
Just your ready stance?
to get into
I like
it. Yeah.
that. You're amped up for today's
I'm actually on the
podcast.
balls of my feet.
Always fucking ready. Always ready.
Might steal second right now. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, as you said, not a whole lot going on this week. I will say we are so close to football season. I'm so excited. I can't even watch preseason because I really don't care about it, and none of our starters are playing anyway. DeAndre Swift had a nice run, which was nice to see, but I'm so stoked for football and fall, and I put the patio out there in time literally for the fall because what I want to do is get a projector. So when we have night games,
Side of your house?
I'm going to use the side of my house as the TV screen.
Do you like your neighbors?
I love well, that's the good part. So Rich next door, who's going to see the projector, is awesome. And Rich will probably watch the games with us. The other
Perfect, okay.
people, I don't care.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking less so that they'd complain about it, more so that they'd invite themselves
But
over.
you know who I got the idea from? Oh, I see what you're saying. 2 neighbors down. They
Oh.
did this last year. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, that's a great idea. Now that I
Fire
have my
pit
side
going.
patio, you know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? It'll be out there. Throw some dogs on the grill, a couple of bergs.
Couple
Watch
of glizzies?
Get a couple of glizzies. Watch
Glizzy
the
gugglers.
birds. Yeah, we'll be the glizzy gulpers.
Yep.
Anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that'll work. No, I saw today, I'm kind of the same way. I was thinking about going to the game on Thursday night, but with the shortened preseason, they don't really play the starters ever.
No.
You might get a couple of snaps on Thursday night and then nobody on whatever the next game is. But I did see today for the joint practice, it seems like the Eagles were doing some unnecessary hitting on Deshaun Watson. Love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
He deserves all the unnecessary hitting.
It's not like he can complain about somebody touching him without his consent, right?
Yeah, no, he deserves to get fucking. I can't believe that they allowed him to re-enter the league. Like 30 cases against this man.
Yeah.
Like,
Not only that, but like watching NFL Live or something like that, they'll start talking about Deshaun Watson and will he return back to the talent that he was in Houston? It's like,
who cares?
we're just ignoring all this now?
I know,
He had his year, he had his suspension, we're just done with it?
It's actually mind blowing to me that it's just glossed over. I'm the same way. When people go on TV, like if I'm watching Sports Center and they're just recapping the Browns, I'm like, you guys are talking about Deshaun Watson like he's not scum of the earth.
Yeah, and then they'll go into a segment about how somebody just got suspended for an entire season because he put $1,000 on himself to get more receptions.
Isn't that crazy?
Bet on yourself. That's what
Roger
I was always told.
Goodell, what a guy.
Yeah.
What a man. For all of you that don't watch football, just Google Roger Goodell and all the stuff that he's fucked up over the years. He deserves to be on Bravo and just tear that motherfucker down. Anyway, now that we have
Inside the NFL could be a Bravo show.
it really could be a Bravo show.
Get everybody involved.
And before we get to the Bravo stuff, we need to discuss Barbenheimer. We're getting close. We've gotten a lot of applications. We're going to set a date for on Friday. I think Friday's episode, we need to set up Barbenheimer.
All right,
date.
we gotta really dwindle this thing down and figure it out.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of really great applications, way more than I ever could have expected as far as the quality of what we're getting. So thank you all so much for the content in them. The things that you're saying are fucking great.
Yeah.
But if you want, here's the rules, okay? Barbenheimer application. You need to put your name, all right? You need to say whether or not you can make it to Philly. This has to be done at the King of Prussia IMAX because it's the only IMAX theater in the area equipped to handle Oppenheimer. You need to, 1, say why you want to see Barbenheimer double feature, and 2, why you should go with Shooter, and 3, you need to bring him a gift and tell us what that gift is. Let me clarify because we got a couple, one in particular, that's my favorite one, that confused that. Shooter's not giving you a gift.
Yeah.
You are giving him a gift, okay? And the person in question, I hope you understand who I'm talking about because your application's fucking great. But email that to us. We're going to announce a date on Friday. So we'll get it in the books, and you guys can have a date with Shoots Magoots at the Barbenheimer double feature.
Figure it out. Got to see these movies.
Figure it out. Oh yeah, he's actually getting antsy. He really wants to see him. So
Yeah.
let's figure this out. As you know, when we have our midweek episode, we like to do our power rankings on the shows. So let's do our power rankings. I want to get some buttons loaded up on this bad boy so I can have a funny sound. Power rankings. Choo-choo-choo.
Right in time for us to stop doing power rankings, probably.
Yeah, we'll probably come up with a new segment that's better. But for now, power rankings. Choo-choo-choo.
Not a lot has changed. I think I am going to flip flop Atlanta and New York,
Okay.
but that's going to happen probably every week.
So
Crappie's still at the top just because it's just an enjoyable show. As far as the Housewives go, New York and Atlanta are like neck and neck, back and forth pretty much every
so
week.
you have Atlanta 2 this
Got
week?
Atlanta 2 this week. Then I've got New York, and then OC. OC is what it is.
Oh, see you later.
Almost.
Oh,
be
see you
getting to the
next
end of that.
Tuesday. I think it's got to be getting close. I enjoyed last week more so than I have the previous weeks.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this week. I hope they're on this better trend. It's interesting. The more I'm reading into comments and stuff, there are a lot of people that are still loving OC this season. They're saying that it's like delivering. That Tamara's actually bringing the heat. And I don't see it.
It's got to be paid bots.
Oh, you think it's paid? I love that we
Yeah,
just
like
defer
when it's a
paid
negative
bots.
thing, everybody screams bots. But when they're trying to pump up a franchise that's just not doing well, nobody screams bots.
Ah,
What's going on with that?
conspiracy
No, I mean, I
bots.
will say I agree with you. I think last week was better, but we can't make a change in our opinion on an entire season just because there was one week that
Oh, absolutely
didn't
not.
bother us.
I'm not like, yeah, OC's back. I would rather watch an episode I don't hate. So I'm glad that last week I at least didn't hate it.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, it's still in the basement for me. I just don't think maybe it's more of a credit to New York has been really good. I hope more people are coming around on it. Atlanta's been steady for us. I know, again, people say that it's not the best season, but I think it's been still pretty steady. And if you try to put that in the same realm as OC, it's much better than OC.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's really a comparison.
Not
It's
close.
just, yeah, you're going to compare Atlanta to past seasons. Sure, that's fine. But you compare it to OC, it's not even a competition. Atlanta's not going anywhere. There's talks about OC doing things every year. So
That's a good point. And I think it's interesting that you brought it up either last week or the week prior. I forget when, but I think a good point is OC does not seem genuine anywhere. None of those women seem like they're actually friends. They seem like everything is fake and produced.
Mhm.
And Tamra coming into the fold makes that even worse because she is the fakest out of all of them. She's doing the most for every scene.
I think there's something to say about that with them not being friends because that is how I feel. And I think I did say it last week. However, I was shown a scene, and we'll get into this with New York a little bit later, in which Erin and Jessel are clearly not friends, and it was still one of the more polarizing scenes of the episode.
Oh, the coffee
So
scene.
there's a way for these shows to do that. Just because you're not friends doesn't mean there's not some good
TV.
banter, the good TV, whatever you want to call it, in front of you. It just seems with OC they don't care. Like they're not friends and they don't care, and they're not trying to make a name for themselves anymore.
That's a good point.
Tamara thinks that she's the star of the show, so she's going to push that as much as possible. Jen has no footing. I would like to say that she's trying to find her footing, but she has no footing. And the rest of them have been around for so long. I feel like they don't care, and there's no real motivation for them to perform better and try to put themselves in uncomfortable situations to give us better TV. They're just kind of going around about their business.
You think they're phoning it in?
Yes.
Okay. I
Maybe
agree.
maybe they're not phoning it in. Maybe this is just who they are. And they've gotten to this point where they're just comfortable and they don't really see an issue with what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why I wish that more, like you said, you saw a bunch of comments saying that it was a good OC season. This is going well, blah, 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 whatever. I wish there was more backlash because maybe they'd see it and they'd realize that they're doing something wrong and change it.
Yeah, I don't know. But in light of that, my power rankings, I'll do it super quick. Number 1, Crappie Lake. Number 2, RHONY, but very close to number. I loved this week's episode. Number 3, Atlanta. Number 8 is OC. And fill in the blanks throughout.
Yeah.
A lot of Netflix.
Every
shows
other
in
below
between
deck.
there. Yeah. Every
15
yeah.
below deck
So,
shows.
Sorry, OC
then OC.
is 25.
Yeah.
And all of the
Math?
BravBros.
You're doing a good job.
In light of the OC talk, though, why I sped through my power rankings, let's talk Salt Lake because there's a lot
Trailer.
more. Trailer looks really good. Here's my bold prediction for the season. Mary Cosby saves the show. and we have a second coming of Salt Lake, back to its glory, back to the show I fell in love with in season 1. I think Mary's going to bring the heat, and I posted that today. I said, is Mary Cosby going to save the season? I got a resounding yes from most people. It's interesting. A lot of people, though, did not like her. I don't think you appreciate what she brings to the TV screen. I'm not trying to say that your opinion is wrong, but you can't look at Mary Cosby as she's more of a character. Like
Yeah.
the person that is Mary Cosby, she is a cult leader. She is unhinged 24/7. She says things like, Heather asks, do I look inbred? And Mary says yes.
Yeah.
To her face. If you don't want that on TV, like, I don't know how to help you.
This is exactly what Salt Lake needs because, one, Jen Shah's gone. And we were wondering what this was going to look like. Do they have enough on this show to carry it?
We don't think
We
so.
thought no, but you bring back Mary to kind of, in her own way, kind of guide them towards entertaining TV, if you will.
Just a comedic relief.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously she's going to say some off-the-wall shit. You're going to get reactions out of Heather. You're going to get reactions out of Whitney. Apparently she hates Whitney. She's going to push that a little bit more, that entertainment value that we so desperately need in Salt Lake that we were so tired of last year. Jen's gone. It's a whole new show, essentially. Leave them on. See what happens. You've got a star in Lisa Barlow. Let her have some fun. Meredith is hopefully going to be less
of a stick in the mud.
Of a stick in the mud. That's a good way to put it. No idea what we're going to get out of the new girl. Not even really going to try to reflect on that.
I have zero clue what Heather's coming with.
Heather, no idea. I think she's going to be the punching bag all year.
You think so?
Yeah. And that's not even like a pun based on her stupid black eye. I do. I think that people are just going to rip her apart all year, and it's going to start with Whitney, and then everybody else is just going to have at it. I said last week that I wasn't excited. I watched that trailer, and I'm excited. So at the very least, they did a good job with the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's not a lot going on around that time either, so it should get us through to Beverly Hills, and that's kind of what we want.
We got that, and we got Southern Charm. I think that will carry us.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of promise in the upcoming shows, but there's a lot that needs to be delivered after the past 2 seasons that we've seen from both shows.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be really interesting, and it's a very pivotal point for Bravo. And I keep saying this along the way, like while we're doing this, they're at a crossroads with a lot of these shows where they need to figure out a new formula. And I do appreciate that they're trying stuff. I think we're a little too critical sometimes when they are. And not just you and I, but the audience as a whole.
Yeah.
I think everyone gets so stuck and set in their ways that, oh, the show's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to look like this. They're supposed to act like this, that it's really hard for viewers to give it a chance when they're like, hey, we're going to try this out. And people immediately crucify because like, oh, this isn't what I'm used to. I don't like this. But you don't, but you also don't like the current state it's in. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either they shake it up and you watch it to support and hopefully they figure it out along the way, or you ride or die for the OGs and the shows go to shit. So like what's better?
Yeah, and like you said, pretty much you find a lot of people in that gray area, like with RHONY, just loving the old cast, but you stopped watching.
I got in a comment war with somebody on TikTok because she wasn't making any sense. She was like, I refuse to watch the new one. It's no good. Like, I also said that season 13 sucked. I'm like, well, that means that the OGs that you love, that you're riding and dying for right now, you're dying on this hill of OGs for life. You quit on them.
Yeah, this isn't a fictitious show that they just replaced the actors in.
No.
This you think that they're just going to carry on a storyline and just replace people?
It's very confusing.
And you know what? You get a lot of that on social media. People that just don't make any sense.
It don't make a lot of sense to me. I don't get it. And it was frustrating. So I wasn't rude. I was trying to get to the bottom of it. But she's like, I'm just not going to watch it. I'm like, well, that's weird. It's weird for you to stand on this soapbox of this show sucks when you refuse to watch the show. I will never get that as long as I live. Like just
she has a vendetta against somebody on the show. What it sounds like.
Ah, maybe she got beef with Jessel.
Could be.
A lot of people seem
to.
Everybody does. But let's get into some Crappie Lake. And we are back in Benton, and this show continues to deliver. It hits every week. I think there was one episode where I was like, meh. But other than that one, and I think, which one was that?
I don't know, because I honestly think I've enjoyed it all the way through.
I think there was one that was a little bit slower, maybe episode 3. But all of them have been enjoyable. And this one is Christmas in July. And I can't get over, and I don't think I ever will get over, how invested Luann and Sonja are in this town. Like, genuinely. They really appear to give a fuck.
Yeah, no, we can't talk enough about how refreshing it is to see that, especially from former housewives, current housewives, whoever. They are fully invested. You can see that they're either the best actresses in the world,
which they are not.
which we've seen them act before, and they are not the best
They are
actresses in
not.
the world.
It's okay. You can't be good at everything.
No, it's okay, yeah. Or they're just genuinely having a good time and they just let their hair down and just went into it with open arms, excited to help out.
Mhm.
And I think the most compelling part about this entire show is watching each and every person in that town kind of open up to them.
Oh, it's starting to warm up and
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
wild. Like you get these hard ass Midwestern dudes
Like Craig.
like Craig that have been doing the same job for 50 years, living in the same town, grew up in the town like that they currently live in, and these two women come in and they hate it. And 6 episodes later, 7 episodes later, they're in love with them.
Yeah, 5 weeks total. I do like that they keep saying the time frame. Like,
Yep.
we've been here for 5 weeks. I'm like, thank you. Flowchart that bitch. Bam.
Yeah, I
But
know. We always need a good time frame.
yeah, I know. It really helps. But I agree. I think it's heartwarming to see the town open up to them, and it's heartwarming to see them open up to the town. And that's why we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I had to cut it for time's sake. So I think we should discuss it tonight because the more I watch, and I brought it to your attention at the end of the episode, and I don't know if I'm reading too far into it, but Luann says on the season finale of Crappie Lake. So is that saying, oh, we're doing another season of Crappie Lake in Benton? Is that saying we're doing another season somewhere else? Or is that just wishful thinking like, oh, this is technically a season and the season's ending and we don't know what the future holds?
Honestly, I mean, if the two of us can sit on this couch and talk about the ideas of this show moving
That is
forward,
what we do.
then you gotta assume that somebody who's getting paid a lot of money by Bravo is doing the same thing. If
Yeah.
not, hire your boys. But I think to answer your question plainly, I think what they're doing is they're not sure what they want to do yet. So it's better to leave it open ended and say it's the season finale because then you can just push it and do one of the 15 ideas that you and I came up with.
What do you think is a better idea? Do you think it's
I think send the two of them to a different town.
to a different town?
Yep.
You don't want to see
For
him come
a
back to
couple.
Benton?
No.
Should
I
we
don't
do like
need
a
Benton again.
3-year rotation? Like in 3 years, come
3
back to
years
Benton?
with the cast or 3 years with, oh, you mean go back to Benton?
So
Okay.
go somewhere else for 2 years, like one place, and then 3 years from now, return to Benton for a season to see how it's going.
Could
And
be. I mean, there's countless towns like Benton, though.
oh, I know,
You
I've,
could do
I've
so
lived
many.
in half of them.
Yeah, exactly. This is just my plan. I would do 3 years rotation for the cast. I would do Luann and Sonja
Oh, I see.
for
Okay,
2 other towns, retire them,
okay.
and then bring in two other polarizing ex-housewives, current housewives, whatever. If you can make it work, if they're willing to actually do that,
That's
because
the
if you
hard
get,
part.
I know, and if you get Sonja and Luann to kind of show them the ropes through 3 seasons, like, hey, we need you to hit the ground running, enjoy this, have fun, just
Lean
look
into
at
it.
it, lean into it, and actually care. If you can find the right cast, I mean, it's a little easier to go with 2 instead of like 7 or 8, like you're gonna do on Potomac.
No, you can't do
You
that.
just handpick 2 that are good friends that'll have fun together no matter what. Throw them in a couple different towns and just see what happens. If nothing else, it's a good throwaway show. Just
It
put it
really
on
is.
Peacock, have some fun, give us something to watch that's 21 minutes long, and
Sell
we'll
some
enjoy it.
ads.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you got to do.
But let's get to the episode. It's Christmas in July, like I said. We get a leaf blower scene, and we get to see Kathy involved in that. You get a little slow motion, like Marilyn Monroe scene, where like they're blowing the air and everyone's having fun. But the hotel renovation, I didn't think the rooms looked all that different. I thought it was just new bedding. The closets look better, and the vanities, I guess, look better. But overall, I wasn't like blown away by the renovation.
I think that's all they did was just replace the
replace the-
beds, and
Yeah, replace
they
the
replaced
beds,
the full beds,
new
at least,
vanities,
yeah,
and new closets.
and then they cleaned the floors, which
They did.
probably haven't been cleaned.
You need to get new carpets. I don't know why they didn't
Yes.
get new carpets. Like just seeing that, like
Probably time constraints, I'd imagine, or I mean, you got to
For
imagine that
carpet?
Bravo's paying for it.
yeah, but it's carpet.
I know. I think that they just didn't want
Maybe it's
too
time.
much.
Maybe it's time.
5 weeks,
Maybe they
keep
couldn't.
saying it.
I don't know, but I think they should have gotten different.
agree with you,
carpets.
though.
I feel
No,
like the
the
carpet
carpet
changes
is-
the
yeah.
room. But I did like what they did with the outside. I like the mural. I like the outdoor seating area, and I love that he gets amped up.
Where'd the hot tub go?
It was still there. It was under, but they got a gazebo for it.
Oh, okay.
Under the
good. All right,
gazebo
all
was the
right.
hot tub. Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a nice little upgrade, and I like that because I feel like Akash throughout this whole thing has like feigned excitement a lot of the time. He's like, oh, that looks really great. Oh, cool. Like I know that he's genuinely excited and he's appreciative. I think he's a stoic man.
I would agree with
When
that.
he saw the mural I genuinely saw him be like, wow, this means a lot to me. Like this really hit. So it was nice to see that from him.
I like that they still jabbed him too as they were walking him over blindfolded.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
you're
"Go
walking
step
into
higher,
a pothole.
Step higher.
Yep.
Step higher.
Yeah,
And
when he was walking into the pothole, and they're like, "Yeah, your parking lot sucks. You got to get this fixed."
yeah,
next."
no, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. But when they were trying to make him step on an imaginary step,
That was funny.
that had me go. I laughed out loud. I LOL'd a few times.
Big old LOL.
Couple LOLs.
Attaboy.
But the next thing is the song, which is I would love to have a camera in the room with them that they just have like a YouTube video of the whole thing unedited and watch this process happen.
6 hours of unedited video.
Unedited, these two trying to figure this song out because it is hilarious that on one end you have Luann, the Countess, who is so serious about this stuff. And look, I appreciate people that take their craft seriously. I'm not trying to shit on her for like taking it to a different level. It's just on the other end, you have Sonja, who will literally change the lyrics mid-song.
Yep.
She's like, oh, we need to change that, but doesn't tell anybody. She just keeps singing and goes, yeah, I changed it. It's like, we got to tell not only Luann, but the pianist what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we don't know that you changed it.
No, it's a great dynamic between the two of them. And I mean, I don't think I would watch 6 hours of uncut video watching the
I
two of
would
them do
click
that.
through it.
I would definitely click through it just to see some funny moments. But again, I mean, how much are they doing per day? They're just all over the place.
They do seem like it's a lot.
Bopping from the mayor's office over to the park and then into the town center to go do this song. You gotta be tired at the end
I'm
of the
curious how long they actually spent in that. Do you think they went back and forth to New York? Or do you think they actually stuck it out 5 weeks straight?
Look, I'm a pessimist at heart. I don't think they would be this happy if they didn't go back to New York there and again.
Like for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. I
I'm gonna
wonder.
do a weekend in New York in my own bed, come home, come back, and I'll have some fun.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like recharge and come back. And if there's weekend events, maybe stick
Yeah.
around. I don't know. That's interesting. But we get to the Christmas in July and it looks like a blast. Sonja and Luann look, they look great, but interesting outfit choices when you're going to hang out with a bunch of children.
Yep.
And it was really funny. And this is why I do like small towns because there's no filters.
Yeah.
And Craig goes, man, they pulled up. And I said, oh, God, they look like hookers.
Yep.
No punches pulled.
Yeah, not only that, and they just start interviewing the moms on the street that had kids. Like,
yeah, and
I think they looked beautiful. I thought Sonja's dress was, it was a little short.
We saw her
but
thong.
We saw her thong. It's okay.
It's
Like,
fine.
there's just-
I think it's funnier because I don't think they're cool with it, but I think for the sake of both the town's image and their own image, they're trying to roll with it.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a different take on that, actually. I think that if this had happened that first weekend before they had done anything else for the town and kind of gave it good PR,
Oh,
they would have been
yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
they know them
these
now.
women are up here now. They've been here for 4 weeks. They're having fun. They've done all these different things. They're putting together a talent show. They're trying to raise money for the town. We appreciate what they're doing. All right, yeah, we can laugh
So
it off.
that's just Sonja moment.
Yes.
They can now say that they're cool.
Yeah, they're on a first name basis.
I got it. Okay. I like that. That's a better take on it. But the last thing is we get the rehearsal for the show and a stunning, shocking reveal of who they got there. And I don't know how the fuck they got.
Would have
Paula
never imagined.
Abdul is a superstar. She's she's Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
And she just shows up to Benton for Luann and Sonja, who met her through charity, I believe.
Yep, pretty much.
And Paula's going to go in and help out with the dance. I thought that scene was so touching. Dev and I both said the same thing. We're like, I wonder if these kids know who Paula Abdul is.
I don't know. I thought they were told to just be really excited. And then when you could see Paula walk over to the teacher, and the teacher was genuinely
She was
excited and started crying, I think you can kind of see a turn in the kids' faces like, oh, wow, she's actually like a big deal.
I saw 3 reactions where I was like, that's genuine from the girls. I didn't know if all of them were
Sure, a
like,
couple of them knew, yeah. But
I'm
the
sure
rest
they
of them,
do. Who knows?
young kids just getting excited because the other ones are getting
But
excited.
as
And
soon
you're
as
on
they
camera.
Google it, they'll be like, oh my God, we met her? Like,
Maybe. I mean, I don't think that, like, American Idol to you and I is huge.
bro, that's not what she's famous for.
Sure it is.
Wow.
You want to put a poll out?
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
I hope you
in
get
the
dragged.
whole country, people remember her from American Idol more than her actual.
I hope you get dragged. The music video of her dancing with the cartoon cat is iconic.
Okay, cool.
Wow. I hope our
I'm not speaking
fans.
for myself. I'm saying
I hope you get ripped apart.
the majority of
What do you mean?
Americans.
You're
if
speaking
you
for yourself and America.
if you put a poll up and say, where do you know Paula Abdul from? I guarantee it's probably so tilted in American Idol's favor.
I'm gonna put this up.
Okay, fine.
This is gonna happen.
Okay.
I hate.
Cool.
Don't do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate when you talk like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So fucking short.
You've done this before. You've been wrong before. You ready to face
So
this?
have you. You've done.
No,
you
I'm
just
never wrong.
Wow. Fuck this.
We'll be back next week.
We're done. RHONY next week. Bye. No. But that takes us to RHONY, and this might have been my favorite episode of the season. I'm going to tell you why.
I think you said that last week.
I will say it every week when it rings true.
Okay.
And I think it's a carryover from last week. Last week I felt was the most genuine episode that we're getting from this cast.
For sure. Yeah.
This is a follow-up on that. And I love that in the scenes when they're all together, when there's a funny moment, even though like they don't all get along, but they don't turn it into a group ending fight. It's like, yeah, some of them aren't getting along, but Erin still shows up to Jessel's event. Like they are still able to like keep the peace, and when they're all in a group together, they're still able to like laugh and kiki and have a good time. And like that's what I'm all about.
I think that's what we're getting with fresh faces on a show.
I agree.
Not. I don't want to say they're afraid to kind of split apart, but I mean, if this happened season 13 of RHONY, and you had two mainstays getting into a fight, like say Dorinda and Luann at some point in time get into a huge fight,
Explosive.
they would be explosive, and they wouldn't be in the same room together for weeks because they feel like they're both big enough that they don't have to deal with it.
Yep.
These women do not have that notoriety. They don't have that mainstay on this show. So I do wonder, and I think this is, I mean, it's making for great TV, and I hope it continues. Obviously, it might not in like 5-6 seasons, but we can live in the here and now and just enjoy it.
Live in the now, man.
Live in the now, man. Come on, dude.
Come on, man. Just live in the now, man. But let's dive right into it. And along those same lines of being genuine, we're back with Brynn at the dinner, and she's still diving into her past, and we learn more and more about it. As she previously stated, her grandmother adopted her, but she was scared for years that she wasn't going to be allowed to stay there, and drank a bottle of Dimetap as a first grader to sleep forever, which literally broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like this whole scene really broke my heart. And what I liked about it, and not like, oh, I'm enjoying this. What I liked about it from Brynn's standpoint, and what we've seen from a lot of these ladies on the show, is the genuineness of it. And that's why I talked about it already. I like seeing them be vulnerable and open up to us. We talked about the generational thing, right? How our generation is much more open to being vulnerable, to being emotional, and we want that reciprocated in the shows that we're watching. We don't want to see ice cold people all the time. So to see Brynn open up like this is really touching, but more so to watch the group react to it. Everybody in that room is engaged. They care. They're feeling her feelings. Even if they're not Brynn's best friend, they can sit there in that moment and resonate with her and be like, damn, this story is nuts. You've been through so much. How did you get to be the person you are? That's incredible. Good for you. And it's a look into who Brynn is as a person, right? Like why she is so bubbly, why she is so happy, why she's a little bit extra sometimes. It's because she was insecure for so long that if she wasn't the funnest person in the room, the loudest person in the room, the happiest person in the room, that she wouldn't be allowed to stay somewhere. And that is so heartbreaking, but at the same time, so endearing to see that carry over into her actual personality. Like, yeah, she genuinely seems happy all the time. And yeah, she likes to love her life. She likes to enjoy her life. And she has come from a place that she respects where she came from. So she's enjoying where she is. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful thing. And I think that the way that they've got this broken down as far as just kind of introducing us to all of these women on a different level has been masterful so far.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, look, you're not going to get as deep of a story as Brynn for all of them. You'd be crazy to ask for something like that.
Which raises questions for me about Jessel that we'll get to later. But I said that to remind myself, but continue.
Okay. I think we will get there with Jessel if that's, when we get there. But we get that kind of breakdown for everybody. We get to hear about their past, and they're doing it one by one. They didn't front load it with the first and second episode and just say, hey, we're going to introduce you to everybody, and they're going to share their most intimate secret with all of you, and you're going to have to pick from now on out who you're going to stand by. No, they're doing it one by one, and it seems organic, and I think it is organic.
That was organic. This seems organic.
Yeah, no, well, that's fair. But you get to see a little bit more, and we got so much out of Brynn, and obviously there's a lot else going on in this episode, but she has so much going on. Sitting down and playing chess later, enjoying the chess, having a little chess
She
set
went to a
with her.
chess tournament,
Never
dude.
would have expected any of that. That's what we want, and we're starting to kind of see why these women were picked for this role, which I think is
that's a
huge.
good way.
We always have questions about casting. We always have questions about, okay, this person's not bringing it on screen. But we never really think, okay, why were they chosen in the first place? They don't have any on-camera experience. They don't have any of this. So we're starting to see, at least with Brynn, obviously Jenna is her own thing. Jenna LIE-ons has her own thing going on. She's polarizing. She's huge. But Brynn, nobody really knew about her. You get this whole story about her past and then couple it with the fact that she likes to play chess on the weekends and she goes out and parties all the time and goes to cool places and has craft or whatever the fuck the name of that restaurant is low on the
Catch.
list. Catch?
Catch.
We're
Shit.
never going to
I don't
remember
know.
it. We've made too many jokes about it. It doesn't matter.
Crap.
We'll call it, yeah,
From here on out,
Crappie Lake.
crap.
But no, I mean, we're starting to see why these women were chosen for these roles. And obviously, you're not going to hit on all of them. But when you have somebody like that in the middle of the show, I expect more moving forward from her because we're going to know where she comes from. So when she acts out in certain ways, we're going to say, okay, well, look, I know why she did that. That's okay.
Right. It makes it easier to understand where they're coming from when
Yes.
shit gets bad. That's a good way to put it. The next thing, Jessel announces to the group that she's having an event at her house for a designer. I was confused about the party once we got there. The friend is the designer, and
Yes.
she is starting her business as a fashion consultant. And it's kind of a joint venture here that, like, this is her in the know or something, it's called, is her consulting group. And this is her first event that she's hosting for her friend who is a designer. We'll get to that later. I was confused about the dynamic of it earlier.
I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Until it happened.
Oh,
So even when it happened, you didn't know?
No, when it I just fucking broke it down. What do you mean when it didn't happen? I didn't know. Clearly, I knew. I just told you what happened. Don't do that. You're gaslighting tonight. You're a little gaslighty.
Like gaslighting.
You walked in the door, you smell a little gasoline. I should have known better.
Pilot ion?
Hope not. Did you see that house that blew up?
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Jenna responds with, "I have something that night. I can't be there. I have an event." And they ask her what it is. She goes, "Oh, I don't remember." Which you lied twice now because it's not an event. You can say that I can't be there. I'm decorating the tree with my son, who I don't get to see very often.
Tell them what you told the camera.
That's
I don't-
it.
That that didn't make any sense to me.
It made no sense, but you lied about the event because it's not an event. And then you lied about not knowing. You definitely remember what you're doing
Yeah,
if you're
I'm-
decorating your tree with your son, who you don't see very often, Jenna.
I'm done giving Jenna the pass on social anxiety and not knowing what to do in social situations.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is going to be surprising. I think that that's her go-to move. I'm not saying she doesn't experience some social anxiety, but I think that she uses that as an out, where she's like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable in these situations. And in turn
She just doesn't feel like doing
she's
it.
able to be like, oh, I just don't have to go now.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah, no, I'm seeing, I'm starting to see between the line,
The
starting to
lion.
see between the lions.
Yeah, they sort of made that same pun later in the episode, but all right.
No, they said lying.
Yeah, I know.
I said lines. I'm killing it tonight. I'm getting nothing in return, man. But I got to comment on it. I always will. The food looks fuego. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Big fan. I'm glad that I think Sai needs to let it go as far as the food thing
That was
goes.
annoying.
She needs to let it go. That being said, I enjoy Sai much more. I think that she's great for this show, but she needs to let the food thing go. The food was not that bad.
But the thing with Sai is I like her more because we got to know more about her goddamn business.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
not
yeah.
just a fucking content creator that just sits on Instagram all day and just posts pictures of herself in which, you know what, maybe we could have done some digging on it.
Yeah, we could
Probably.
have, but
We
that's
could
not
have
our
just
job.
answered
You're
no.
supposed to show us on the
Show us
TV
on TV.
screen.
Come on now. But no, when they broke down what her actual business is and the way that it grew, I felt better for Sai.
I was like, wow,
Weird.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Good
like,
for you.
hardworking. That's great.
Bio major, dope. You went into the fashion industry and then you wanted to go out on your own and you found this niche in content creation and you're killing it. And also, your day sounds like a goddamn nightmare.
She's a bio major and a fashionista.
It's
Maybe
a
she'll
cool
be able to
story.
design some
Okay, here we go.
cool clothing for like a post-apocalyptic world that'll keep us from radiation.
What the
I think
fuck?
that'll work.
Why are we there?
I don't know.
Okay.
Getting there.
Okay. Maybe she will. Shoots. I mean, the apocalypse can't be that far away, so we'll find out soon. Hopefully, she makes it through the apocalypse so she can design some cool post-apocalyptic clothing
We
because
gotta
she's
save her.
because she's a bio major. Whatever. Oh, I get it.
Oh my God.
Wait, bro. In my head, I'm like, what are you talking about? She's gonna make like atoms and like cool designer-looking clothes
Chemistry.
with like. Atoms are part of biology as well. We're made out of atoms. Don't see gaslight. You all witnessed this. YouTube, you're witnessing this live or not live.
Yeah, you just
Damn it, I'm
witness Steele
fucking
completely
rattled.
miss it.
Let's
Yeah.
get back on track. Yeah, I totally whiffed. I didn't understand. I get it because biology should be able to protect us from. I got it. In my brain, I'm thinking of biology-themed clothing, which I didn't understand why that would help us in a post-apocalyptic world. Except we'd look great.
Read between the lines.
Okay,
pal.
cool. Back to the. Did you just read between the lines? I gotta go to bed. I can't do this. Back to the episode. The first scene ends with the cackling hags comment, and Jessel's going to be a great housewife. She is. I don't like her. I really don't. But what she brings to this show, and a lot of people are comparing her to Ramona, I totally see it.
We've got some fans over in England. Can somebody please verify whether or not calling somebody a cackling hag is like a term of
A
endearment?
term of endearment.
I like that she said, "Oh yeah, it's like pip pip cheerio, a cackling hag." Like, what?
I don't think
Both
so.
of those, I think, mean hello.
Yeah,
I think I have
Cackling
no
hag's an
fucking idea.
insult. And the best part is when she's trying to explain it away, she goes, "Look, like Jenna, you cackling old hag." It's like, you didn't
Yeah,
use old,
old
bro.
in there.
You didn't use old before. Old's a new part of it, and you just insulted Jenna.
And you just showed your true hand.
Yeah, but I love that she blames it on being British and that they're more crude over there. I do believe that
I think that's true.
that's true, but I
Yeah,
don't
verbally
think that it translates here.
and with their food.
Oh yeah, their food's ass.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be really mad about that one.
No, British cuisine's not my favorite. I'm going to get
Okay.
dragged by our British fans, but hey, I don't like it.
Go boil a potato. You'll be fine.
That's Irish. Yeah, it's okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. He's Irish. He can say
Yeah,
that.
I can say that.
Yeah, we're about to get some shit. But moving on from that, but I actually respect this move here because Erin says, "Do you want to take it back?" And she says, "No." I'm like, all right, I appreciate that. If you're going to say some stupid shit, at least you stand by it. Like, I hate when we get people saying dumb things and then they reel it in. They're like, "Oh, I was joking," or this or that. She's like, "No, I was joking. I said I've been joking. I'm not taking it back." I like that she stood by it. And I like that Brynn calls her out and says, "Your shit stinks. Like, you're messy as hell. This is sloppy. It's not a good look. You need to clean this shit up, Jessel." And that's when Erin chimes in and says, "You looked miserable the entire time." And this scene for me actually made me empathize with Jessel a little bit more because she said, "I missed my kids." And a lot of times I would hear that and be like, yeah, whatever. I think that she's going through a lot more. And I'm going to be careful with this. I'm not saying it's postpartum. I don't know. I'm just saying I think that she is dealing with a lot more after the birth of her children, the change in the dynamic of her marriage potentially, and the lack of sex and the lack of sex life. I think because she's so crude and brash, I think that we're missing out on what's going on with her. And I think the girls start to realize that as well because they have that conversation later when they're sitting around playing chess and they say something's actually wrong. I think she's going through some serious shit. I don't think she knows how to voice it or how to carry herself while she's doing it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. I think that what we're seeing, we do see a lot of genuine Jessel between not apologizing for the cackling hags thing, even when faced with it, even when everybody in the group is staring at you, she still didn't take it back. And to have the audacity to come back and ask Erin to go to coffee the next day because you're now upset with something that Erin
know,
said
right?
is hilarious.
Hysterical.
And I think that's actually who she is. I think that's how her brain ticks. There are other things definitely in the background going on. And look, like pretty much everybody in life has something going on that they're probably not talking about all the time.
Pretty much everybody. I want to know the people that have nothing going on.
There's
I'd love to
some
meet those
people out there, and they're very special people.
I don't like those people.
No, not a big fan of those people.
No,
Nope.
you guys can kick rocks.
They're probably not listening to our show.
That's-
They don't have like an inner monologue. So, do you know not everybody has an inner monologue?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my brain doesn't shut up.
Yeah, I know. I talk to myself all the time. Sometimes I verbally talk to myself all the time.
Okay. Well, that's a different
Sounds
look
about
into
right,
the
right?
brain of Magoots. But the scene ends with Jessel and the sex talk coming back up. And I'm tired of this. I don't care if you like Jessel or don't like Jessel. The sex life in her marriage is a serious thing. And everybody in the group is treating it like it's a ho-hum. Just blow them. Just break the seal. Just go get in. Like, clearly, there's a lot more underneath this where it's not as easy to just grab her husband by the hand, lead him into the bedroom, and break the seal. Like, there's a lot here.
Once she moves in and starts talking to her husband about it, and then they have a real discussion about it on camera, it should kind of stop there. Let them kind of figure it
I
out. Like, you
agree.
know what I mean? It's run its course. To bring it up again, and this is a time frame thing again, but it's like a week or two later. I know that you guys don't see each other all the time. You probably see each other when you film, maybe a couple of you pair off here and there, whatever. But it shouldn't be that polarizing of a discussion, especially when it's something so intimate in somebody's life.
Right.
You talked about it already up front. Sure, whatever. You got some answers. You didn't get some answers. She talked about it with her husband. She told you she talked about it with her husband. Leave it at that.
Yeah,
Let
drop
them
it.
figure it out at this point.
It's no longer your
what?
business.
Mission accomplished. Because you know what you did? You had her have a real discussion with her husband about something that, look, it probably is bothering her. I don't want to assume her intentions, but it probably is bothering her. She got to have the discussion. Let them go work on it. Don't chime in. You're not really best friends. I don't want to hear you guys talking about it every week. It's annoying.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's time to move on from it and let her and her husband figure it out. But moving on from there, we get the scene between Jessel and Erin, and they're having coffee, and they need to sort some shit out. This conversation does not go well. Jessel assumed that she'd be able to sit there and they would just smooth things over. Instead, Erin says that Jessel must have been catered to her whole life, and Jessel goes, "Oh, you're calling me a princess." And then Erin pretty much says, "Well, yeah, pretty much. I'm calling you a princess." What I'm seeing between these two is they just do not vibe. They don't click. They don't connect. Erin doesn't understand how Jessel ticks. I don't think anybody fully understands how Jessel ticks, and Jessel doesn't understand how anybody ticks because she just says things and she can't help herself. And that's what leads me to this question. I don't want to speculate because I don't know her backstory that well yet. But she compares herself to Brynn, to Sai, to having a similar story as them, where I didn't come from money. I came over here as an immigrant, worked my ass off, got to where I am. Now, regardless of her upbringing, she has worked her ass off to get to where she is today. I will give her that. No questions asked. I need to know more about her original backstory, only because the two stories that we have heard from Sai and Brynn are so incredible, so amazing, such big stories of success and triumph and overcoming crazy odds, that if you try to, fit into that group and your story is not the same, it's extremely belittling to those two. It disregards everything they've been through, and it's a story grab. And again, I don't know, but we haven't heard them. When we heard her backstory, there was no talk of that stuff.
No, I agree. I think that at least the vibe that I get from Jessel is, look, I don't think that I don't think she started as maybe lower income as, say, Brynn and Sai have. I think what she's saying is that she built her life by herself.
Which is
Which
great.
is
It's
great.
amazing.
That's awesome. But you can't, after hearing those two stories, to throw your name in that hat, it better be, and I'm not wishing this on anybody, but it better be as like crazy, heartbreaking,
Earth-shattering.
earth-shattering of a story as what we heard from the two of them.
Yeah.
You cannot throw your name in that hat. And I think, honestly, it's funny because you say, nope, like Jessel doesn't know how anybody ticks. She can't get a read on it. Nobody knows how Jessel ticks. We now know how Erin ticks.
Yeah.
It is 4 episodes, 5 episodes in, wherever the hell we are. We know exactly how Erin ticks. When she walked in, Erin thought maybe she's coming in to apologize to me finally. Nope, completely off. Erin is still waiting for an apology for 3 or 4 probably different things that she has written
Jessel
down
doesn't
somewhere.
remember those things.
No, Jessel doesn't care. She's moved on. She doesn't see any fault in them, I think is the difference. She's unapologetic. She feels like she's right. She will explain until she's blue in the face rather than just saying, look, I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because she just feels like she has the right to do that. And I'm sorry, but that is princess behavior. That is straight up princess behavior.
From what I've gotten from
her, are not
her,
going to apologize.
The word princess is not a stretch.
No.
From what I've seen out of her.
No.
Not to cut you off, sorry.
No, not at all.
But I get the same vibe. Like when Erin calls it out, I'm like, yeah, that's the vibe I've been getting. And the way that she talks to other people gives off that vibe tremendously.
Her husband.
I told you, I said it episode 1, no one listens to me. But she ends the conversation with, I don't have time for fake friends. Pretty much drawing a line in the sand.
Which is fine though. And I think
I'm okay with that.
That's why I alluded to this conversation earlier. I think this scene's incredibly important. While it was somewhat cringy to watch, it was a little upsetting, a little uncomfortable. You watch two people on a show that just don't mesh. And they went absolutely head to head, steadfast in their own beliefs, did not falter in one way or another. Obviously, Jessel cried at the end, but they didn't budge. They just stuck with what they had. And that was like a very sort of passive aggressive of an argument.
It was a very passive. Well, here's Erin's problem. Erin takes things too personally. Erin spins things into different narratives that aren't actually being said about her. Like when when Jessel says, like, I thought you support women or I support women, something along those lines, I thought it was like a slight dig at Erin, but I thought it was a dig like, you're not supporting me, Jessel, not Erin. You don't support any women anywhere. And that's how Erin took it. I didn't see it that way.
I didn't see. Look, as weird and uncomfortable as the situation was, I was firmly on Erin's side pretty much the entire time from the Tribeca comment, which could have been fine if Jessel's just making conversation. She walks in, she goes, "Oh, I hear this is an up and coming area." If Erin was mad because she's not a real New Yorker or whatever bullshit that is, then that's on Erin, whatever. But Jessel doubles and triples down and she goes into it and starts explaining away. And it's like, no, you're absolutely wrong.
There's
Stop
no
trying to
restaurants. It's like it's Tribeca,
it's
man. There's
fucking
plenty of
Tribeca.
restaurants.
There's a restaurant right next door. Like, shut up. But no, between that comment and then the women comment, I thought that what Jessel was doing, yes, I don't think that she was trying to take a dig directly at Erin saying, you don't support women. I think in her own way, she's trying to support herself and put
Oh, she's
herself
trying
up
to like push
higher
herself
and
up.
say, look at me. How dare you talk to me like that?
Oh,
Not only am I back to work, which you did not mention to Erin, I'm back to work and I'm supporting women.
yeah.
That's me. That's me in a nutshell. Not like you're not supporting women. It's just this is who you're talking to. And like stop propping yourself up. Just say, "Oh yeah, I never mentioned that I like it just made no sense." Erin was mad solely because Jessel took offense to different things that just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's a good way to
It
put
was
it.
weird.
But moving on from there, we get Cy and Brynn. This is the chess scene. We've talked about it already, so we're not going to get too far into it. But I like this scene because throughout it, one, we get to find out about Brynn and her playing chess, and I can't say enough about her actually having the balls to like. She admittedly is not very good at it. Like she sits down with Cy. I'm not saying she's bad at it. She probably beat me if she plays a lot, but like she sits down with Cy and Cy beats her. And then she goes to this chess tournament and openly says like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna get so trashed after this. After I get kicked out of this chess tournament." And we watch her play this dude who was probably so stoked to be playing Brynn. She probably walked in
my
the room
God,
and he was
yeah.
like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna lose to you on purpose." Like
You probably tried to lose.
you probably did. But like she doesn't know how like the machine works. Like clearly it's her first time in a chess tournament, but I love that she's confident enough and like comfortable enough in her own skin to like show up to that. I love that she dresses up like a Harvard law student, like in her like sweatshirt or like crew neck sweater.
Yeah,
and,
she wants
like,
to be Elle Woods real bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And look,
That's fine. I
it's
have no
totally
issues with it.
fine because she follows through.
Yes, the follow through is super important. If she had just sat there with Cy, whipped out some chess set, it would have been a funny moment. But the fact that she said, "Yeah, I do chess tournaments," and we actually got to see it on film that she was in a chess
It was
tournament,
great.
it's awesome.
It was a
That
great
follow
scene.
through cannot be spoken about enough.
Absolutely. But back to the scene in the coffee shop, they're sitting there talking about Jessel and the fact that she takes no accountability, no ownership. All true. But I believe that it's within this scene that they figure out, like, oh, there might be more going on here, guys. Like, maybe we need to lighten up a little bit and get to the bottom of this instead of just dragging her for being an idiot.
Yeah, and I like that the three of them were able to sit down and come to that conclusion. Obviously, they had some laughs, they made some jokes here and there, but the three of them were able to figure out, okay, maybe there is some more going on. Erin even said, "Look, I'm going to show up to her party because I don't think that was her intention. I thought that her intention was to come into the coffee meeting the day before, which a lot of coffee meetings, right? You do
Look,
some
I love
coffee
coffee.
meetings?
I would love to have a cup of coffee with you, pal.
Play some chess.
I would play chess. I
Right.
used to play chess when I played
We'll live
baseball,
stream
like
it.
rain delays and
Yeah.
stuff. We'd break out the chessboards.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
we'll live stream that. But
live stream shooter and steel playing chess.
yeah, why not? But I like to see that they were able to come to that resolution between the three of them where they're not just ganging up. Like this could have been a completely different scene. We could have seen them turn into a faction where they just start making fun of everybody else, and then all of a sudden they're talking shit on Jenna. They're talking shit on Uba, which, by the way, do not talk shit on Uba.
Nobody
because
talks shit
is
on Uba.
perfect.
She
There's
is
nothing
flawless.
wrong with Uba.
Flawless.
But you're gonna sit there and finally come to the conclusion, like, oh yeah, she's got more going on. What can we do to help smooth things over?
Beautiful thing.
How in the world is this not on every show?
I don't know. It's a great scene, and I like that they get to that because I think you're right. I don't think that Jessel goes into any situation with malicious intent.
No, I think that
she
she just
doesn't read
talks.
the room. Yeah.
I think she just talks way too fast. There's no filter there.
Yeah. So we're on the same page, but we get to Jessel's event and it's called The No. So it's launching The No. It's also launching her friend's designer company. It's a lot of who's who in the room, I guess. I don't know these people. I definitely have seen the lady with the tattoo red dots on her face. I've seen that
Really,
woman
tattoos?
before. That's what Brynn said.
Okay.
It's tattooed on her face.
Alright.
And I believe she was the editor
Editor of Vogue, I
Vogue,
think.
right? Seen her before. Could not tell you who the other people were, but apparently they're all big names. So this is a big deal. Jessel showed up, showed out. Good for her. I hate how she talks to Pavitt. I cannot stand it. The man's like, yeah, he put a carrot in his champagne glass. Is it?
Just having a goof.
Yeah, whatever.
What's wrong with him?
It's just a goof, man.
Sounds like he's a goofy dude that's just hanging out doing some weird shit. Let him
Who
go.
gets dragged for doing anything.
Keep him happy.
Come on, man. Like, let him have it. Like, he thinks he's being funny and cute, and you call him embarrassing and say, don't embarrass me in front of her. Don't do this in front of
At
other
least
people.
she did it with a
man.
smile on her face. It was kind of snide, but
That doesn't matter. That's like saying go fuck yourself with a smile on your face. It's not better. It's just like polishing a turd. Still a piece of shit.
okay,
All
fair
right.
enough.
I don't like
was
it.
good.
It's just not necessary. But that's when we get the scene of Jenna decorating the Christmas tree with her. We find out they're her goddaughters and Beckett, her son. Love the name Beckett. I think it's a great name.
Yep.
I'm not just trying to give her credit everywhere. I just do. I genuinely like the name Beckett.
Noted Jenna LIE-ons lover,
Look,
Steele Russell.
I still love Jenna LIE-ons, but I am starting the what you call it. I'm just going to use a rehab term here. They call it the pink cloud. When you get out, everything's happy and fun. Pink cloud. The Jenna LIE-ons pink cloud is wearing off a little bit. I'm seeing through some of the cracks, but
Rehab term.
the rehab term. Everybody learns
You
something
just
new.
knew that I can't say anything back to that. So all right.
Yeah. So boom. But this is where we get Jessel saying that she's like Cy, that she came from nothing, worked her way up, worked her way from London to come over to the States as an immigrant. And even Cy says, oh, I just assumed you came from money. Maybe it's the accent. Maybe it's how you carry yourself. I don't know. And it's funny that the other women in the group are like, the ones that don't come from money, are like, I would love for people to say I look like I come from money. Like Brynn says that, Cy says that.
Yeah.
And then you got Jessel who's saying that she doesn't come from money. Then she might not. Again, like we're not making baseless claims. We do not know. I'm just saying to lump yourself in with those two backstories that you're on the same page, risky business. Unless you actually have like a big story.
Look,
It could happen.
I do think we're kind of leading down that path where we're going to get more on the backstory for Jessel because I think she's the last one. Her and Uba.
Yeah, well,
We've
maybe
got
that's what
some
they're
with
doing.
Uba. That's what I think they're doing. Pretty much rolling out like episode by episode, giving it enough space in between for things to kind of settle, and then letting them kind of take center stage and show it out. Obviously, Brynn's was way more public, which I think it just does more. It's more dramatic. It does more to kind of make you feel a little bit more
Capture the audience.
where everybody's there and it's a real moment. It's not just a confessional.
Yeah.
But I think what they're doing, like Erin, while I think Erin's a cool woman now, you can tell that her backstory is not super crazy and super like deep. They
It
had
was
her do it in
interesting.
confessional.
Yeah,
Same with
we
Jenna. Like
got
Jenna,
it.
yeah, she worked her way up. She got to the top. She did a great job, but there's not a lot more there. So let's do it in a confessional. So we'll see
You think
with
they're building
Jessel.
Jessel up to a group breakdown moment where she tells everybody her backstory.
Possibly. I think we could get that.
Look, this is what we do. We sit here and we
As long as she
speculate.
doesn't burn too many bridges in the process, because at that point, if she starts to share, they're going to think it's a move.
Yeah,
You
that's
got to kind of break down and do it within the next 2 weeks.
But I think that she needs to do it next week because the last part of this is we get Erin showing up and they appear to smooth things over. They both are like, whatever. We're not seeing eye to eye on this. Like, thank you for coming.
Yep.
Like, I'm glad you came to support. And it was a big moment. Like, that was a potential momentum changer if she did or did not show up. By showing up, granted, she was pretty late, but the fact that she's there at all kind of shows Jessel one. And I know why Erin went there. The only reason she even says it is just to show Jessel that she supports women. I don't think she's trying to smooth things over. I think in the process of doing so was like, yeah, you know what? This isn't worth it. Let's just squash this. Let's move on.
She could be smoothing things over for the show's sake. I also don't. Anytime that somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I was a little bit late on these shows," production just held them back. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's not like obviously they're going to have her come in last. They're not going to make her go in first and help set up and then do the whole smooth over without everybody else there. I thought that just kind of a side note to the rest of this, with all the important names that walked into that room that we were told were very important names that I
Sure.
didn't hear until today, they were still filming Real Housewives of New York, like on the couch.
Oh, that's a really funny point.
There's a huge party going on over there, having a great time. Look at all these names. This is crazy. Isn't this wild? Hey, we've got 6 cameras over here. We're going to still film
But
our
that's
show
the
over
thing.
here.
Everybody that went to that house knew that. So
Yes.
you might have a lot of big name Bravo fans in that room.
I would imagine probably, yeah.
But the final part of this scene is they start talking about Jenna and the fact that she is not at an event. Is this an activity worth missing the party for? Absolutely. You don't see your son. You're decorating the Christmas tree. It's a family moment. You can miss
Probably
this
knows most everyone in that room.
without a doubt, which also is a reason she wouldn't want to go because she doesn't want
Yes.
to talk to everybody. So this is a good out. But at the same time, oh, wait a minute. Do you think that she made up that she had something to do on Thursday and then just so happened to be like, oh, we're going to decorate like that? She decided when Jessel brought it up that she didn't want to go and then figured out what to do that night so she had something to do? Or do you think that was planned for that night originally?
I would say the former. For
Oh,
sure.
yeah. So
yeah,
you think
I fully agree with you actually now that you just said that because she said that she gets her son for 2 weeks out of the year.
yes.
But we see her at Erin's anniversary party in the next episode, and we've seen her at Bryn's giving, and we've seen her like.
See, I'm just saying.
So look, I mean, 2 weeks is a pretty big gap of time. I don't think that we went from one episode to another, skipping a full 2 weeks. She's gonna be at other events. She's gonna be at work. She's gonna be doing this and that. I think you might be right, actually.
I think that look, that just popped into my brain, my genius brain right here. But we get Brynn doubling down on the double standard thing, and clearly there is one, and I think that it's been publicly talked about amongst the group. But I like the idea of a Brynn and Jenna beef without Brynn and Jenna actually having any issues with one another. The group is causing the issues because they get pissed off at Brynn for doing the same shit that Jenna does, but they don't get mad at Jenna. So I like that
Yep.
there's a lot brewing now, and it
Yeah,
all
between that and the
feels real.
Hamptons.
I know.
Yeah, there's enough there.
There's enough there, right? So like that's why I think I get more excited about this show week to week is I'm like, oh, it's building. You can see the drama
Mhm.
building, but at the same time, the group is not in tatters already. Like they're still cool enough to hang out, talk, laugh, have a good
Yeah.
time. We need the good times. We need them. They are essential to enjoying the season. So if you're not watching and you're listening to this right now, like please just watch it. Trust us. It might take you a little bit to buy in, but it's good TV. It's good. It's a good Bravo show.
Yeah, and at this point, you've got like 7 episodes that you can just binge right now.
Yeah.
We all love to binge.
We love to binge.
Do it on a rainy day.
Yeah, do it on a do. You know what?
The
Fuck that.
hurricane
Call
season's
into
coming
work.
in?
Call into. Yeah,
We talked about hurricane season
Yeah.
again last year.
hurricane season's coming in. Oh
Should
yeah,
probably back off of that one.
yeah.
actually.
No, look, just take a day off of work and binge it. You'll have a good time. If you do that, I'm gonna make you a deal. If you take off a day of work and you're not a RHONY watcher and you watch the whole thing, we will pay for one DoorDash for you.
That's a good deal.
We will DoorDash a meal of your choice to your house. If one, you have to take off of work to do this.
You have to show us the email.
Yep. We need the email of your sick day. All right. And then we will order you DoorDash, but you also have to write a small synopsis of the episodes that you watched. Not all of them, just like a paragraph when you're done, however many episodes.
We are going to have 12,000 DoorDash orders to pay for.
No. It's only one person's going to
Oh, only one person?
Yeah, only
all
one
right,
person's
all
gonna
right.
win this. So
Read the fine print, guys.
yeah,
Come on.
read the fine print. Don't speed through the contract. You don't know what you're signing. But that takes us to the question portion of the show. So let's jump right in. From Laura Conan Levine. Laura Conan Levine. Yeah, I think I got that one. I've been better at names lately.
Yeah, not bad.
Do you think all of the new RHONY cast will make it to season 2?
Yeah, I think so.
As of now, yeah,
Yeah,
I want them all back.
If the only thing I could see is Jenna not wanting to come back,
Mhm.
just based off of
Her
how
actual
we've seen
life,
her,
yeah.
and not even her actual life, just her inability to show up for things,
Yeah, I think that
stick around, have fun. Like it just doesn't seem like she's having a lot of fun.
I still can't get a read on her. From PRD773 says, out of all the new RHONY cast, who do you think would be the first to leave? I agree with you. I think
It's
Jenna.
Jenna. Yeah,
But you like that? I just put 2 questions into one. Moving on.
that was good.
Boom. From Cat Ballas. They say they were friends previously, but I don't think they were. What do you think?
Who?
I don't
All the
know.
RHONY cast
All
members?
of them? I think a
I don't.
couple
I
of
think
them
we've
probably
gotten
were
some
friendly.
of them. We know that Brynn and Sai are friends or friendly. Jessel knows Jenna. Erin supposedly knows Jenna. So I think there's some like inner workings there, but I don't really think that deep down any of them are actually friends or
Like,
have been
not
friends for
tight.
years.
I
No.
think Erin actually outed herself on a podcast saying that she did not know Jenna before the
Yeah. Okay,
show.
that makes sense.
I don't know, but I also feel like it's Look, we hear this argument a lot, and I don't disagree with it. The shows are better when they are friends, when they have a history. 1000%. I don't think anybody's here disputing that. I think that it's a dangerous game to play when you just want everybody to be friends. I don't think it's realistic as far as casting goes because you're not going
No.
to get a group of women in New York City like you got originally, right? Like it's not the same atmosphere as it was when they started RHONY, the OG RHONY, because things are different. There's social media. These women are much more in the limelight than they were back then. Like back then, these shows weren't as big until they finally took off with Teresa flipping the table and all that shit. But now, if you're a housewife, it's a 24/7 job on social media. Like you're constantly under scrutiny. And I feel like a lot of women that are in groups of friends, it's hard to find 6 to 8 like-minded friends in that space. Like, yeah, let's all put our shit on TV.
Yeah, and
That's what I think.
the flip side of that is, I mean, obviously what we have where they're not that close, and I think it's making for good TV, and you can allow them to get closer as filming continues and we get deeper into the seasons. What I don't want is that in-between space where 2 or 3 of them are really good friends and then the other 3 are on the outskirts because it immediately puts in a faction, and obviously they're going to talk shit on the other people.
Yeah.
So that's not fair either.
From Babs Taylor, am I the only one not excited for Mary to come back to Salt Lake City? No, you're not the only one, but you're one of the few.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
From Marissa and Palma, this will be our last one. This is a great question. Which Philly neighborhoods would you place each of the women, i.e., Erin's in Tribeca? This is a go. All right.
Like for them to represent each area.
Yeah, they represent a Philly neighborhood. Let's start. I'll name them.
Okay.
And then we'll go through it. So Jessel first.
Jessel, I'm gonna put her in. Tough one. Delco, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her in
I didn't
Delco.
see that coming. All right, Jessel's in Delco. Tough shit. Let's go, Erin.
Erin is the main line.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Great call. I agree. So far, you're 2 for 2, only because Jessel and Delco sounds really funny.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going for.
Okay, Brynn.
Brynn is Northern Liberties.
I say like Fairmount.
It's sort of I would say the same thing.
Same vibe.
Yeah,
It's similar vibes.
It's all the same vibe. It's a younger crew. They all go out. They have fun. There's bars everywhere, and they're always looking to go out and have fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Psy. Similar.
Psy is tough.
Fishtown.
That's still Northern Liberties to me.
Rittenhouse.
I was gonna put Jenna at
So
Rittenhouse.
put Jenna in.
I don't want to put Psy in South Philly though,
No, Psy doesn't go to South Philly.
or Northeast, or Rockstar.
You know what? You could
any of
put
those.
Brynn in South Philly, and you could put Psy.
Okay, that works.
in
Yeah,
Fairmount.
put Brynn in South Philly. We'll put Psy in Fairmount / Northern Liberties, and then Jenna in Rittenhouse.
Yeah. Do we miss one?
Uba.
Oh, she's at the top of Liberty One in that schwanky penthouse. That's
Yep.
where she is.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yep. Nailed it.
Right next to Joel Embiid.
Joe does have a house there, or an apartment,
He
condo.
did, yeah. I don't know if he
Should
does
go up.
anymore.
You know, they always party at Jean George. That's where they go.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Should we go like crash it one night?
Yeah, why not?
Bruce did it.
Let's go like 7 days in a row, and we'll catch him.
Yeah, we'll get in there eventually.
Yeah.
Just keep trying to sneak under the red rope.
Mhm.
Come on.
That'll work.
Come on. We're the guys.
Listen.
We're the BravBros. You haven't heard of us? Come on, Joel. Joel, seriously. Come on. Come on. Come on. Am I running this into the ground?
Yes.
But that does it for us. Remember to follow us on our socials at Brav_Bros. Follow us on YouTube. Every time I do that, I want to say Instagram. I don't know why. Follow us on YouTube. See, I did it again. Subscribe on YouTube, baby. Subscribe and click the subscribe button. We're out of here. I'm failing fast.
See you Friday.
Bye.